Hello everybody, Xany here, and welcome to another Team Fortress 2 gameplay commentary kind of thing. And today, I wanted to talk to you all about a weapon that I had completely forgotten about for at least 400 hours of the game. I recently, tried it out again and realized I actually really like this weapon. Of course, I'm talking about the Sydney Sleeper. Now, before we get all the accusations of me being a complete and utter, scrub, and, lose all my internet street cred, I can play with the normal sniper rifle. I can headshot. I'm not just using this one because I can't hit headshots. Showing my hands. I'm not a scrub. I just like this weapon. Now, with that said, this weapon does carry a lot of bad rap with it. You usually associate it with snipers who don't know how to headshot, who don't have that high skill ceiling. But I believe this weapon actually is a lot better than most people give it credit for. And just because it can't headshot doesn't mean it can't be effective in higher levels of play. Now, let's talk pros first. Or, before we talk that, actually, let's talk about what it does. The Sydney Sleeper, as I said, can't headshot. But in exchange, any shot you take that hits someone will cover them in Girardi, making them take 50% more damage from any source. The duration of the Girardi depends on how much you were charged, varying from 2 seconds at 0% charge, at 8 seconds at 100% charge. It also charges 50% faster than in your normal sniper rifle. Those are the only differences. You trade off your headshot and you charge faster. Now, let's talk pros first. Now, the biggest thing about this weapon is the ability to help your team at a long range. So, with a normal sniper rifle, you're sort of like lone wolf. You're the sniper. You sit in the back and you take out targets, doing 150 damage a headshot, theoretically, if you hit them all. But with the Sydney Sleeper, you have to be a lot more team-oriented. So it doesn't work a lot if your team is just kind of all over the place. You have to have either someone who's looking out for Girardi players, or you have to be calling it out for people to notice. Now, I know this doesn't happen in more normal pubs, so that means the Sydney Sleeper is only used by people who just can't hit headshots, really. But Girardi can change the way a fight is handled. Now, with your normal Girardi, it takes like 8 seconds, or it takes a long time to recharge. I'm not going to say a number because I'll be wrong. But you throw that out, and that doesn't really have any range. That's kind of a close range, save yourself from a situation. But with the Sydney Sleeper, you can nestle yourself in the back and just keep, a medic pops out, you can hit him with a nice Sydney Sleeper dart, and he's taking 50% more damage from all sources. Which is, as anyone who can play the game will tell you, Girardi can change the tide of a battle, the tide of a fight, because Girardi just, that more damage just makes it so annoying to fight against. Anyone who's ever just been hit by Girardi when you're in like a 1v1, like soldier versus soldier, you're having this epic battle, and then you get hit by Girardi, you just know you're gonna lose. Like, you're taking more damage, and it's so effective at just ending a fight, because you're either gonna make the person lose, make them lose a ton more health than they would, or force them to fall back. Because, I know if I get hit by Girardi, I'm not gonna go looking for a fight. So it's this huge deterrent. And you could say, yeah, a headshot would be the same amount of a deterrent, but if you have a medic on you, I would be more afraid of Girardi than a headshot, personally. Now, the second big thing about it is the faster charge speed. Now, a lot of snipers will just kind of hard scope around a corner. I know I favor more the style where you kind of roam around and try going for those quick scopes. You want to be in the meat of the battle. But with the Sydney Sleeper, you can just kind of sit in the back, and like I said, charge up it. You can sit in the back waiting for a shot. Now, people are gonna call you a scrub, or be like, wow, get good guy, he's in the Sydney Sleeper, what a punk. But it's a kill. If you can charge it up all the way, you're gonna do 150 damage with a single shot. 150 damage will drop a scout, an engineer, another sniper, a medic, big thing, a medic, a demo man with an Islander, or anyone who's lower than that mental health. So, why is it so important to be able to one-shot a class? Well, if a medic peeks a corner and you just click on him, anywhere on him, he takes 150 damage and he goes down. That faster charge speed allows you to dish that out. Not to mention, the more Girardi you apply with the larger charge, so you don't have to charge for as long to get more damage. Now, another positive for this weapon I would really see is that it does promote a lot more teamwork from snipers, because normally a sniper exists as a pick class. You exist to hit a headshot, take someone down, and then your team pushes in. The Sydney Sleeper gives you a lot more team-oriented role, as you're more of a support at that point. You give your team more ability to push in, but you still can dish out 150 damage shots more efficiently than a normal sniper rifle could. So in just a pure damage without headshots, the Sydney Sleeper would win. But that fact that it doesn't have headshots is the biggest negative downside to it. And I think we should get to the cons. So, like you said, biggest glaring negative of the Sydney Sleeper is no headshots. So it doesn't have as high of a skill ceiling as a sniper rifle, and you can't kind of roam around and just take out fully charged heavies, meaning the normal sniper rifle would be more efficient if you're in like a public server, and there's a lot of heavies on the enemy team, people that need to go down to the ground. Oh, what? Okay, yeah. So ignore that bit. It's not like early in the morning or anything, but yeah, that's the biggest problem a lot of people have with it. And because of this, if you use it in a normal server, a lot of people are just going to assume you're not that good at the game. It's just kind of associated with that, and I think it's really... I don't like that association with the weapon, but I mean, I can see where it comes from. Another huge problem with it is that you need people to be working with you, because it doesn't matter if you Girardi their entire team if no one capitalizes on it. And you can't really get in there on your own. Like, maybe you can go with the Bushwaka and try getting someone, but you're probably going to get shut down if your team isn't, like, organized. So, without an organized team, you're not going to be that effective with it. You have to be able to rely on other players to be able to pick up on those Girardied people. Ugh, excuse me there. Another huge downside to it is that you might not have as much of... You might not be picking up all the kills, You're going to be doing a lot more sitting in the back and supporting your team. You're not going to be getting as many points, and you're not going to be going for any like huge glory shots that you would with a normal sniper rifle, which might be a huge turnoff to some of you. And I can see why, but every now and then it is really nice to use just to help out your team. I mean, it's one of those weapons that isn't fun to use, but it's extremely helpful. It's really like team oriented, and if you have people working with you, it can really help everyone out. And yeah, those are my major pros and cons of the weapons, so let's kind of weigh those out. Now, it also does depend to me if I'm on attack or defense. I will use this weapon on defense, but never attack. I've tried it on attack a few times, but as from what I've seen, it's a lot more efficient to use it when you're defending, because the enemy team has to push into you. They have to come into your sight lines that's when you're defending. When you're attacking, you really don't have to do that. Or the enemy team doesn't have to come into you, you have to move into them. Making it a lot easier to use a normal sniper rifle if you can hit headshots, to just kind of pop around a corner, knock out a headshot, and pull back. You're going to have a lot more opportunities to hit 150 damage shots with the Sydney Sleeper than you will with the normal sniper rifle. Or you'll have a lot more opportunities to hit it on defense than attack. So I would say this weapon is very situational depending on which team you're on and like which points you're on maps, so you'd have to take that into consideration. But let's weigh these pros and cons, and let's ask ourselves the question, is it bad? Is it worth using? And I would honestly say, I think it's a really powerful sniper rifle. I would say my order of sniper rifles would be the Bizarre Bargain at the top, because that thing is a machine. That thing is incredibly good. Next under that, I would probably just put the normal sniper rifle, because that one's always just fun to use. It's the normal sniper rifle. You can't go wrong with it. And under that, I would probably put the Sydney Sleeper with someone who knows what they're doing and a team who can capitalize with them. That spot could also be rivaled with something like, I don't know, the Hitman Heatmaker, but that is also an extremely situational weapon. And I would honestly think that the Sydney Sleeper is a lot better in more situations than that is, even though it's also incredibly situational. Now, Huntsman, we're going to put that in a different category because that's a weapon I love, and I'm completely, I like that weapon a lot. And ignore the list. I think that the Sydney Sleeper has its place amongst the sniper rifles, and I wish that a lot more people would see this potential that it has. Because I believe, even though you can't headshot and it takes away that sniping skill that everyone tries to build up, everyone wants to be like the professional headshot guy, the guy who can hit every shot they ever take. But isn't it nice every now and then to, help out your team and all that? it feels really good at a round, at the end of the round, to know that, yes, this is because of me that we won. I'm on the top score with the Sydney Sleeper. Who wants to say that it isn't a good weapon? I mean, if you have any problems with this weapon that I like kind of ignored, like a con that I missed, maybe the weapon gives someone like a disease or something. I don't know. I made that completely up. But imagine, like, if you have something that you don't like about this weapon, why don't you put it in the comments? Maybe this weapon is like your least favorite in the game. You hate it altogether. Everyone who uses it, you hate their guts. Put that in the comments, you know? Tell me about it. I would love to hear your opinion on this weapon. And if you see something that I said that's like wrong, yeah, say that too. And I'm probably gonna go to sleep now, so I'll talk to you all later. Have a nice night.